It seems like all we talk about are crashes right now. What is going on? Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Ila HM and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. On this channel we talk about crypto. Apparently that's all we talk about, just crypto. Now, it's been a bloody week or a bloody day yesterday, and I feel you. We've all been there. We're all in this together, so we all have these same feelings, I guess. But my job here is to put some sense into this and to tell you why this crash may be over or may not be over, and I'm also going to tell you why it's not as bad as you think it is. Now let's start by taking a look at CoinMarketCap as usual, and let's take a look at the top gainers in 7 days. And as you noticed, we have, well, Polygon Matic is the anomaly and it's up 77%. Other than that, the rest are in the red in the past 7 days. Because yesterday we saw a 40, 50, even 60% in some coins, and Bitcoin corrected about 40% as well. It dropped all the way down to 30k actually. There's multiple news that may have caused this drop to happen, and I do believe they did play a role and they were a catalyst in increasing that drop. But one of them is that the fact that Beijing made a crackdown on crypto in China, meaning that Chinese regulators have tightened restrictions that ban financial institutions and payment companies from providing services related to cryptocurrencies, which basically caused some scare in the market and some downside pressure. Also, we had Elon Musk saying that they do not accept Bitcoin anymore, which also created more bearish pressure. But above all, I do believe the reason for that drop is people trading with leverage. I always talk about this on this channel. It's basically people borrowing money from exchanges to increase their position in order to increase their profits, but also in order to decrease their profits and also increase their losses for that matter. So I can't stress this enough, guys. You must stop trading with leverage, especially if you're someone who's new to the space, and especially if you're someone who's not a very good trader. And even if you are a good trader, I think 2x leverage, 3x, 4x, 5x is like pushing it. But personally, I don't trade with leverage. I don't recommend you trade with leverage unless you really know what you're doing. So one of the reasons why everything dropped is because of people being over leveraged, especially noobs being over leveraged, because someone on YouTube promised them that if you leverage 50x or 20x, you will become a millionaire in 3 days. Because if right now Bitcoin is at 50k, it'll go to 100k, and your 50x would become $2.5 million or whatever. So this is terrible, especially from the side of the YouTubers who are actually promoting this, instead of people, for example, DataDash and myself, who we always talk about not being leveraged, especially if you're new to the market, and maybe consider being leveraged when the market is down, not when the market is actually going up and where we might actually reach the top. So that's my take on this. And if you notice, if you look at the BTC Liquidations yesterday, there was $3.18 billion worth of liquidations and on Bitcoin longs. Basically, when people bought and leveraged their position with longs, long meaning you bet that the market will go up, people got liquidated and they lost their position. And when you get liquidated, it means that you lose your whole position. Basically, you have to return all the money that you borrowed, meaning that you have to use the money you actually have to pay off this loan, and basically you're left with $0. So if you're someone who was not leveraged, by the way guys, I'm definitely not bashing people who are leveraged and who lost their whole position. I truly feel bad, and I feel sorry because they got lured into this mindset of leveraging and making a lot of money, while it can't be further from the truth, because sometimes you might win as a gamble, but most of the time you're probably going to be liquidated. And if you're someone who did not get liquidated and who on paper lost a lot of value, for example like myself, we're fine, because guys, at least we did not lose everything. At least we still have assets that we're holding on to that we know and think that they're going to appreciate in value in the near future. So really, you are someone who is lucky, and not I don't necessarily think it's luck, but just be proud that you actually did not go into leverage and you did not lose your whole position. Because yesterday, if you were leveraged 2x on Litecoin, for example, and it dropped 50%, then that's your whole position. That's it. You lost all your Litecoins. Even though you think that, okay, 2x is not a very huge risk, as I said earlier, but in crypto, guys, it's a different market. It's a whole different beast. There are no other markets where you see a 50% drop in a few hours, just like what happened yesterday. So please be careful, don't trade with leverage. Now let me talk about another piece of news that may have sparked this. And personally, I don't like to speculate. I don't like conspiracies. I like looking at charts and look at the numbers. And this Sheldon Evans, a guy on Twitter, and he's a famous crypto YouTuber, shared this article which says that basically this was pure manipulation from believe it was from some company in China who they decided to sell and drop the market down to 30K if with the goal of actually liquidating some person that they're targeting or some firm that they were targeting. That's what I got from this. But again, I don't like speculating. I think this news might be true. However, and by the way, this was published before the actual crash happened, or it shows that the date. I don't know if the dates were manipulated or whatnot, but they actually called that it's gonna go to 30K. He says, expect 30K, that's a guarantee. We don't know who that is, we don't know who he works for, but all we know is that he published this, and basically this was actually known that that's gonna happen. Although, don't shoot the messenger, I'm not sure how true this is, but personally, I look at the numbers and I saw all these people who are over leveraged and who got liquidated, just like we saw in this area right here. Now, where can we be going from here? Yesterday I put out a tweet saying that if we drop below 32K or 30K and we don't jump above it quickly, then I would be very concerned and maybe exit the market completely. However, we actually jumped off of it. If you see this wick, this candle right here, notice how we jumped off of it and then we rebounded very quickly. So this was a good sign. However, right now the danger is definitely not over. I like to think it is, but for now I'm still watching very closely. And as we bounce off of this region, 30 to 32K, that was a very, very good support area, which showed us that, okay, people are willing to buy and crypto is not going anywhere. However, we got resisted back at 42K, which shows us that we're facing resistance here again. However, notice how we went and made a lower high or even a double bottom right here, which shows us that we might be ready to go up. And I think we might test this area again, or if we see a lot of buy side action and people excited, then we might just break through it, something like this. And I know, guys, you might be wondering, okay, if Bitcoin went down, why did the others go down? Because that's how it works. When there's fear in the market and people selling, it usually affects the whole market, Bitcoin, and then other altcoins follow. And then usually altcoins take a bigger hit, except for Polygon, because, well, again, I don't know what's going on there. But for now, notice how other coins are actually recovering. We see Litecoin that's up 9% already today. And also, I do like the recovery we're seeing on Chainlink right here. Also on OMG network, it's also not bad as well. So we're seeing confidence back in the market. Dogecoin is actually recovering as well. This actually might be a good buy for Dogecoin. But for now, I'm just watching close. If I had cash on the side, I would have absolutely bought more, but unfortunately I did not. But if you're someone who was waiting for that discount and saying, okay, Bitcoin is extremely expensive at 64K, well, now it's at 39K and yesterday it was at 30K. So it did a pretty good discount for you. Also, one last thing I would like to mention is yesterday when all this crash happened, I tried entering Coinbase, my Coinbase account and my other platforms like Binance, and many of them were actually down and basically they were crashed because of all the volume and all the traffic that's on it. For that reason, it got me thinking that, okay, the next time this happens, I shouldn't wait until the last resort in order to actually sell or panic buy or whatever. Maybe next time I should actually be ahead of the curve and take my profits earlier and maybe even buy a bit earlier than the others because, well, apparently you're not going to be able to sell the top or buy the bottom. But for now, the discount is still very well. I also learned one last thing, and that is to take profits when things are going well, because I'm going to try as much as possible to keep this in mind, the 40% drop, because the next time we get back to 50-100% gains, I really want to keep this in mind, because have I took any profits and kept them, let's say, in my Binance account or my Coinbase account or whatever you use, then I would have been able to buy the dip and add a decent position to my portfolio. Or I could have even took the money and spent it, but that's not very financially responsible, but it's better than actually having them go down. So keep in mind, guys, take profits on the way up and on the way down, because we never know when the top is and we'll never know when the top is. But other than that, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Invest safely. Please stay away from leverage if you don't know what you're doing. And if you know what you're doing, please leverage very little amounts. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out my portfolio and what I'm actually trading and what I'm holding, check out the link to my Patreon down below. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.